Namaste, angels. I'm here to do one of the client readings for one of my Patreon subscribers. I've never spoken to this woman in any way. We've never had any type of correspondence. I don't at all know her. I've never before read for her, so this is the first time. I'm going to begin with the cross and with sacred union. And I got to tell you, as I was shuffling the cards, I saw a lot of air in the tarot cards and a lot of air that indicated that there had been some pain before that we're getting over. And just now, shuffling these, it was sacred union opposite heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is not really what it sounds like. It's about the need to release something so that you can make room for something new. So I think that there may be an existing relationship on either side. If the relationship's no longer existing, still some cords from, because after, like sometimes after people separate or even divorce, there's still some sort of cord, a negative cord that's connecting them that still has to be released. I told a story recently of a young lady I spoke to over Facebook messaging, and she had no longer been with her child's father. They had, or children's father rather. I think they had 4 together. They had separated for some time, but she was still connected to him in a way, more than just he being the father of her children. They were interacting on a personal level, the two of them, although not romantic, and she was sending him money and stuff. That's what I mean by this. Not to say that suggest that you're doing the same thing, but they can be a cord for whatever reason on either side, or maybe both, is what I feel thus far. But we do, more importantly, we're starting with this. So the union does exist. Everything else can be fixed, when we have that. And opening to blessings. The sacred union back. And abundance. Abundance now at the bottom. I'll go one more. Divine guidance. The abundance back. And cut. That could be Venus. Perhaps somebody may be a Libra or Taurus, because I told you I saw all that air as I was shuffling. I also had the 3 of earth, which is right behind the card, which I'm going to start with now. The 3 of earth opposite like the 10 of air, which is all about betrayal and backstabbing and pain. So there could have been something going on with somebody involving a third party, perhaps at work or perhaps an earth sign. But I'm going to begin when I use the tarot cards with the 6 of earth, which represents for me the signs of both Libra and Taurus, and the planet Venus, who rules both of those zodiac signs. Venus could be coming through for that reason to gift you the abundance. And now coming to spiritual growth. So somebody going through ascension on one side or the other, or perhaps both, continuing to grow. And forgiveness is the overall energy with Kuan Yin. Okay, so we already know that a divine union exists. Let's see what else we have going on with the feminine with regard to herself. Trilogy of light. Beautiful. I love the fact that you're already open to taking on the energy of the Trinity and your aspect, your contribution and part of that as the mother or the divine feminine energy of the 3. Beautiful. And it shows confidence. It shows light, which is awesome. And love also. I really like that. Like self-love. The masculine with regard to you. The woman of his dreams. Also, he visits you in his dreams, or in your dreams, rather. You guys communicate a lot in the 5D, is what he's saying. to me now through this card. His higher self. This is how he feels about himself in relation to you and the union. Moon tree, which is all about sacred marriage and the marriage between two sacred beings, in addition to the marriage between heaven and earth. So he sees himself in relation to you as your sacred husband, which was evident, I think, again, from the first card that we saw. About the union, the gateway. He knows that this is going to like lead him to his salvation. Beautiful. Overall, birth. A new beginning for you guys. You know, like we go through death over and over and over again. There's a prayer to Mary, the Hail Mary. And we ask her at the end to be with us now and at the hour of our death. And I changed that, at least for myself, probably a year or two ago. And I began to say, like, upon each of my deaths, I want you with me, please, Mother. You know, because we go through these constant death and rebirth. And that's what you guys are going through now. That's probably why the energy of awakening came through before. The outcome. Miracles happening for the two of you. So if you've been like stuck or feeling fear, not sure how things are going to come together, you know, like happy to see something like this and the sacred union, but certainly in need of forgiveness because, again, there has been betrayal. I saw that already, and hurt and pain. So how are we going to get, you know, to physically to this point? Miracles. What would the masculine have you do? Wow. So he would have you surrender to the Christ energy. Okay, so like Jesus was called the Christ because Christ means anointed. Okay, Christ wasn't his name. He was Jesus of Nazareth, the Christ. All right, Christ means anointed. And we are all, those of us of the light, supposed to be ultimately attempting to achieve Christ consciousness. To do that, we have to surrender to the universe. That's what the divine masculine would have you do at this time. Which is perfect sitting here underneath the trilogy of light, because it shows that you have a desire to do that already. So you guys are on the same page in this regard. He's saying, go ahead, you know, like let go and go ahead and embrace this fully, which you already seem to be doing. What's he going to do? He's in surrender also, taking on the divine feminine aspect of himself, his inner divine feminine, and surrender, the feminine energy of surrender that comes with that. He's accessing that and, you know, letting go and becoming fully vulnerable to it, allowing it to work through and for him. This is beautiful. And I love the moon crossing the moon here. And what the universe would have you both do is get in touch with your inner child for healing. Now, that may mean, and I'm feeling that it may mean different things for each of you. And this need to get in touch with the inner child can be for something as simple as needing to, like, remember how to have fun, to things more serious, like you have to heal something that happened in your youth, and like perhaps some sort of abuse, not necessarily physical, but, you know, even verbal. Somebody didn't speak to you the way, you know, they should have, and it stuck with you. That sort of thing. We have things we have to fix in order to move forward. But other than that, your first spread is beautiful. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I hope you are too. All right, let's get to it. Just to recap, I mean, you saw already twice over, and then you have the divine masculine of all time here, but you saw twice over that this is a sacred union, sacred marriage, and I began with sacred union. Again, I'm beginning with the Six of Earth with these angel tarot cards. Gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. With regard to love, this is about giving of one's self to another, like in a pure truly unconditional way. And then in exchange of those things, like I'm giving to you of myself fully, I'm surrendering to that. And I'm not expecting anything in return. But then the beauty of it is you give me the same thing anyway, even though I'm not expecting it, even though I don't require it. You give me, all of you of your own desire too as well. And it's about this equity and equality and, justice and righteousness and, just the beauty and the divine nature of all of that. Just pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. Opening to awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You may be at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself in this moment. You can't be fake, can't be phony when you take this step back. You got to face the truth, whatever it is, good, bad, and different, and look at everything from a fair, like try to be as Queen of Swords as you can, whether you're an air sign or not. That's the kind of mode you want to get into, so that you can try to be diplomatic and fair to, like this, just, righteous, and fair to all involved, without ego, or anything like that. This often has something to do with a party of three as well, and represents the sign of Pisces, and can be that sort of like confused, dreamy, fantasy, kind of mindset that you need to like step out of. And that's why you got to step back and like, be for real. And be honest with yourself at what the big picture really is. Being a 12, it can have something to do with a third energy, not necessarily a third person, but quite possibly, and not necessarily romantic either way. Six of Earth back. But into the Five of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. So where this card relates to love for me, it tends to demonstrate like fear of abandonment. And I've felt it at times, not just between like the couple, but just like in general, fear of abandonment. Like somebody's parent maybe wasn't there. Maybe they grew up in a single parent household or something. And this is one of the reasons why they're afraid, in their own life. Like, I don't want to do that. Or I'm afraid that this person's going to leave like my mom did, like my dad did, or whatever the case may be. And this can be on either side. The beauty of this, however, though, is together we basically have an Ace of Earth here, because the 5 plus the 6 equals 11. So this, you can look at this as a divine new start, an opportunity for a divine new start, as opposed to looking at it as in a negative sense. Five of Earth back, and opening now to the Chariot with our Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. This is a card of victory, movement, moving, transportation, modes of transportation, travel. Represents the sign of Cancer or the water sign. So far we're seeing two major arcana cards come through representing water. The Chariot now, and again, Awakening or the Hanged Man representing Pisces. So there could very well be a water sign involved here. Five of Earth back. I'll go one more. Speaking of water sign, it's the Three of Water. A celebration, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. The need to have more fun. So I was talking about this before, like just the need to get out, enjoy life. That can still be the case. This being another 3, however, this is the third 3. There could be a party of 3 situation going on of some sort. Again, not necessarily romantic. We'll get to that. 3 of Water back. I'm going to cut. And it's the 5 of Fire. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. The 5 of Fire, for me, most often has to do, I've felt many things from it, but typically has to do with close friends that you may even consider like family, you know, like I'm so close to this person. I call them my sister, my brother, my cousin, whatever the case is, my son, my daughter, my mom, you know, since our friends are older or younger than us, or actual family member. And with this, I include like exes, especially if you've had a child with this ex. This can be on either side or both, again. Overall energy is the Queen of Water, who's tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. The Queen of Water is quite possibly a Scorpio, but may also be a Pisces or a Cancer. Masculine is the Hermit with Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. This is all about introspection, getting to know oneself better. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Surrounded by the Emperor with Archangel Michael. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. The Emperor represents the sign of Aries, typically to most practitioners of the tarot, or other fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, but for me, also represents the sign of Scorpio, because the Emperor, or Aries, is ruled by the planet Mars, as is Scorpio. That's one of their ruling planets as well. In the masculine subconscious, it's the Four of Earth. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. This could be withholding love as well. And he's both crowned and rooted in the earth, the 9 and the 4 together, equaling an 11-11. And then, of course, an 11-11 right here in the middle, too. So that's like an 8 here. Could signify abundance coming his way with these 2 earth cards, and with this Emperor maybe getting himself together, taking on some sort of leadership role, starting his own business or something else about which he's passionate, but Archangel Michael helping him to first get his whole life, get his life in order. The feminine is the 7 of water, a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. This can also be about being fantasizing and dreamy and a bunch of different things, not focused, and the need to choose something, head in the clouds. Also, this Emperor, I'm feeling, that 5 of fire that showed up before, this Emperor, another aspect of it, can be representing that conflicting energy. Perhaps the person or energy that is combative to him, perhaps envious. That fire sign that was coming through before. And the Chariot's back. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. So again, the Chariot is all about victory, movement, travel, transportation, modes of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles. Maybe you're thinking about one of those. Chariot facing the Emperor too, charging this way. This is about you being in the driver's seat. So that could be why you're trying to pick a decision, which direction am I going now? Let's see more. That 10 of air that I was talking about is back. It's here in your subconscious. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may be recovering from addiction. This can have to do with any type of codependency. Doesn't have to be an actual addiction, like a substance addiction, as people would think first and foremost. So may have something to do with alcohol. It may not. Alcohol, drugs can easily have something to do with a failed or otherwise toxic relationship. And that can be what the decision is about. 7 of water, often having to do with children or family for me. I mean, not the 7 in particular, but water or cups cards. And then in particular, the ace, the 10, the 6 really do. Children, family. But this could be that too. Like deciding, and you got 2 7s here, which equals a 5, like a need for a change of a situation, a family situation. And this would certainly signify the need for a change to a situation too, because the one that you had, that had been existing was hurtful. Crowning, it's the 5 of water. So speaking of 5s, now these 2 equaling this one. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive of a situation and crying over spilled milk. I call this the oh woe is me card, because we're not noticing, we're not counting our blessings and noticing what we do have. At the root, the King of Fire, who's motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. This King of Fire can very easily be the divine masculine, like I said before. Having been learning about himself, ready to take a more leadership role. That's exactly what the King of Fire is, in its capacity as representing the divine masculine of the tarot, that's for sure. But in a general sense, the King of Fire is somebody who is a leader, and he's very passionate about what he does. King of Fire can be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, like the Emperor, which crosses it. At the heart of the matter is strength, which also represents the sign of Leo, or potentially Sagittarius or Aries. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. So the need for that coming through again, as it had in the first spread. That was as your overall energy, that Kuan Yin card. I'm going to look for you here for the next upright card, so we can try to get some clarification. There's a few that I'd like to, but we're not going to, I won't spend all night on it, because we can easily go on to the romance cards, which I'm sure you're eager to do, and see some more love. But I'd like to get a better idea about what's going on with the 5 of water, the 7 of water, the 10 of air, perhaps the Emperor, because I think the Emperor has more than one meaning for you. So let's, oh, that was simple. Let's do the 7 of water. The 8 of earth. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, and maybe even going back to school. So in relation to the 7 of water, a decision maybe to continue on the same path or not. Now, I'm not sure what this path is, because the 8 of earth is not telling me that much. I can continue to go on. But it can't even be, deciding whether or not to learn a new vocation or something else. But I'm still feeling family situation with this card. So the 8 of earth can be coming through to represent what life teaches us as well, as can the hermit, which mirrors this here, like the lessons that life teaches us. And which way do I go as a result of that, as a result of something that I've gone through, again, perhaps having to do with family, is what I'm still feeling. The next one's upright. Let's okay, I'll use it for that again. The King of Air is showing up. Maybe, I don't even know if you have any children or anything, but that, again, that can be what the 7 of water is representing, and maybe their parent, the other parent is an air sign, or there's somebody that's an air sign. I think it's a family member. Not necessarily the child of the parent, but I think it's a family member with whom you've had some kind of conflict that has made, your life difficult. You need to get away from that situation. And other than that, a King of Air is typically brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic, and is a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice if you need to, and balance mental and emotional considerations. Another meaning, somebody could actually need to seek some sort of professional help to deal with whatever this betrayal was. There could be a need to sit down and talk to a psychologist or something, or even a friend, just a friend, in order to help you to move on from it, like the Chariot wants to do. Let's look at the 5 of water now. Oh, it's the 2 of water. Exactly what this is. Exactly what this demonstrates. These three have fallen down. We're not paying attention to the fact that we have two still standing up. All right. And we're just going, oh, woe is me. Look at the three that spilled. And missing the fact that we have two divine cups standing right there. So this could be you. I mean, it's in the middle. It's, shared. But for you, this can be, oh, woe is me. My other plans didn't work out. The situation I had going on in my family didn't work out. My ex or whomever this is, it's probably an ex from what I feel. That didn't work out. And oh, woe is me. I spent so much time, trying to live my life that way. What a waste. Instead of looking at it from the positive. And then noticing and realizing the fact, hey, not a waste. I got this experience. I learned the lessons that the universe set out for me to learn. And I've got these two beautiful cups standing here. And now the Two of Water comes through to help you to notice a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. With that, I think let's go on to, well, there's another one up right. I'm so greedy. The Emperor. The King of Water. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured is the King of Water. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which is love. Yeah, I think that for the most part, this is the divine masculine, basically, like I said before, getting his whole life. And I love how it's crossing the Two of Water. He may actually be a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, and or just really taking on this energy right now of the King of love and emotion. And how beautiful to have the King of Water crossing the Two of Water. Now I feel better about going on to the romance cards. Oop. Beginning with make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And opening 2, honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So if you're in the U.S., I don't even know where you are, but if you're in the U.S., there actually is a holiday not far off from now. It is Memorial Day next week. That can be what this is. This can be the honeymoon phase of your relationship, even if you've been in a relationship existing before. We had that birth card in the other spread, so it's coming back anew, and not that you start over from scratch, but you have this new beginning. Remember the deaths and the rebirths that we go through, so it can be that as well. Opening to religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing, spiritual path. So some of you, either one of you or both, could have something to which you feel bound. You were tied, you were stuck for a long time. You couldn't move on because it has something to do with some sort of ideology or belief system that you have, that it just made you feel like you were tied down. Now you need to free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Religious factors back. Opening to engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. That's clear from this and the other spread, certainly. Engagement now at the bottom. I'll go one more. It's unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. This is this other person that you have here. Unrequited love. I said I was going to only go one more. That's why they're not showing me anything new. Honeymoon is back. Okay, I'm going to cut. So like I said, I started out in the beginning, or you didn't get to see this part, when I was shuffling the Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle, and I had the heaven on earth over and over again, opposite the sacred union. And I said heaven on earth is about the need to let go of something so that we can give way for something new. So I think you have a need to cut this cord with some sort of, with an X or something, so that it can give way to something new for you. And then you'll have that honeymoon phase that we're all looking forward to for you. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Overall energy is love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. This is the way that the romance angels come through to tell us to, yes, let go of these old things and put ourselves first. We've been living and or loving for other people, and it's time to stop that. Again, it's time to free yourself and take back control of your life. Move on. Move forward. Also, this is moving up. Again, ascension. Atop the Hermit and the masculine, this introspection, this getting to know himself, one of the things he's learning is that he wants to continue to move forward, which is indicative of the two of water there to which this sits next. But he wants to continue to elevate this commitment and this union with you. I think that's so beautiful. And atop the King of Water, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So while the two of you work through, while he gets his whole life, and while you rid yourself of this cord, you guys are working on things, but so you're not really sitting around waiting. In any case, the wait is worth having. Atop the Four of Earth, and this, what I felt before was withholding of love potentially from the masculine. The reason he's holding back is because of some sort of religious factor. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So this can have something to do with, some ideology or belief system of his, and something going on in his life, and or, because it can be both. It can have something to do with you in this connection. Like, I can't move forward or give her all of me, like the Six of Earth with which we started suggests. I can't do that until she's free of this other energy. Atop the King of Air, is this your husband and you need a divorce? I think something like that. This situation involves marriage. Now, dual meaning, thankfully for this card also, it's here mirroring engagement. So this is also for the two of you and representative of your divine marriage that already exists. Here atop the Chariot, retreat. So this is why you got to move away, get away. It's time to disconnect from the world, so that you can think clearly and everything. And notice also underneath wedding is this couple here in wedding attire as well. You've got wedding attire, and two angels. Here atop the Ten of Air, children. Your love life is being affected by children. So I wasn't sure if it was children or family, again, because it came through as a 7 as opposed to one of my sure thing cards. And I didn't feel it clearly whether or not it was just family or children specifically. But here they are, the children by which your love life is being affected. So this is probably, again, like I said initially, before I said family, actually, your child's or children's other parent of whom you need to let go. Crowning here atop the Two of Water, playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So when we don't know how to come back together because there has been hurt and pain and the need for forgiveness and compassion, and we don't know how exactly to do that, begin by, not calling anybody or texting anybody anything heavy and, antagonistic or argumentative, but rather, lighthearted, light-spirited conversation will help you to come back together. Here atop the King of Fire, beautiful. Calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And here at the heart of the matter, the reason you have this strength here and that you need it is because you got to heal family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, but not just your parents, anybody. So this includes this person here, from which you have to remove yourself, separate yourself because it's drama. Anybody that has that kind of impact upon your life and your ability to move forward, as the Chariot would have you do, is with whom you have to heal these things. And heal can mean repair and, leave some sort of friendship or positive connection between you. Or healing can mean, walking away completely. To the extent that you're able. We can separate ourselves completely from even our child's parent with the exception of, dealing with them specifically about the child. And if the child is old enough, they can deal with them themselves. We don't have to continue to be actively involved as a mediator between our child and their parent, especially if it's a difficult and hurtful situation between us. Why are we doing this if the child is old enough? All right, so I'm going to go on and see what the Ascended Masters would add to this. Begin with priorities in King Solomon and opening to Twin Flame. You got all of the reconfirmation you needed, I hope. Twin Flame is back. Opening to meditate with Buddha. Meditate now at the bottom. And father, husband, brother, son. I think that's with whom you need to heal a situation. But the card in general could be, for either or both of you, and tends to be about a male or masculine energy with whom you need to heal a situation. And opening now to nurture yourself with Mother Mary. When she comes through with this card, it is a very do you. That's what she's saying to me. Do you type of card, type of energy. It's again, it's like to love yourself first. Father, husband, brother, son back. And opening to health and healing with Hilarion. Father, husband, brother, son. I'm going to cut. Ganesh says yes. He's removing the obstacles from your life. Overall energy is choose peace. I spoke about this, I guess it was a daily, very recently. Maybe the 18th reading. I don't know if you saw that one. If you didn't, you may want to watch. I spoke about the choose peace. Like, even if the difficulty is with our child's other parent and we have a painful relationship, there are ways to approach it where we're seeking peace. We come in peace and we handle it that way. The top engagement, freedom, says Hina. So again, this is also atop the Hermit, which is all about introspection and enlightenment. Like the masculine coming through some realizations and self-realizations specifically. And then there's a desire for freedom from anything to which he's felt bound. A top worth waiting for, Twin Flame. How beautiful. Yeah, I told you it's worth waiting for. As soon as you guys fix your different issues, everything's going to be awesome. Atop the religious factors, which was also atop the Four of Earth and this withholding of himself from you and perhaps from the world, again with being crowned by the Hermit, is now drink more water with Queen Oshun. So some of the reason why he needs to do some Hermit is because he's going through the awakening or ascension as well. His love life isn't the only thing that's ascending. He is as well with this energy of engagement that's here under the freedom. Under wedding, a top wedding rather, is purification with right Taurus. So you have to purify yourself, detoxify yourself again of this old relationship with the King of Air. A top retreat is the power of joy. So this is why you have to disconnect from the world, and again why you have to purify yourself so that you can be happy again. Your happiness awaits you. It's mirroring your joy. Your divine union is mirroring the joy. So as soon as you rid yourself of the negative energy, this will come together for you. Here atop the children and the Ten of Air, that was the difficulty and the pain, is see the other person's point of view. So this is everybody. This is see the masculine's point of view of maybe why he's been hesitant, why he's been withdrawn, because you had some stuff going on. So when you take that step back like the Hangman and you can come to that and you're truthful with yourself and you're honest about the situation, you can see from that perspective, oh, okay, I get why, he maybe didn't come forward as I would have hoped, but I see that he desires to, and I see that he will. And I have faith in that as soon as I, heal some things, and as soon as he heals some things on the other end. Crowning here atop the playfulness is come out of the closet with Amaterasu. So this is also above the 2 of water. And this is, again, the need for you guys to come together. But in order to do that, you have to at least begin to cut the cords that are holding you back. And atop calling in your soulmate, Kathumi says stay focused. So don't get distracted from that or lose hope or lose faith. Keep your eyes on the prize, as they say. And here at the heart of the matter, atop the healing family issues and the strength to do so is go now, says Serapis Bey. He doesn't want you to waste any more time in doing this. You got to get on top of cutting these cords. Let's get your advice. From the Tony Carmine Universal Love Oracle to the masculine, spiritual growth, which is, again, quite evident here from the Hermit and the engagement card and the freedom, because he's elevating. So, he feels it's freeing. It's liberating. So that's what this is, the spiritual growth. For you, answered prayer. So maybe you've asked for help in cutting these cords. You've asked for God to send down, or the universe to send down Lord Ganesha to knock down the obstacles for you. And that's finally happening. So that prayer being answered. From the angels to the masculine, the 9 of water, his wishes as well being granted. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. So whatever he's been asking for is also coming to fruition now. And he's got these 2 9s. 9s mean many different things. They can mean, that it's time for you to embrace your humanitarianism, your light workerhood and ness, which again may be why the Emperor is here to help him get his whole self and get refocused on what he wants to do with his life, what his life purpose is. But it can also mean born. So in supreme math, so that's the beginning of new things. In numerology and angel numbers, it means endings. So an end of a difficult situation perhaps, and the start of a new one. All those could be things for which he's prayed and that on which he's focused here again with the Hermit, which is a 9. And you've got a 9 of your own. It's the 9 of fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So this is about, you might be weary, but stay in the fight, stay in the game. From the romance angels to the masculine, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. I always notice that these people here are also in wedding attire. This is the bridesmaids and stuff, or I guess for him would be like the groomsmen. So it can be from that aspect. Let your friends help you, especially with engagement and wedding here. But in addition to that, I always consider my friends the angels, and I call upon them. And it looks like you guys may have too, again, with 2 cards here with prayers being answered and spiritual growth. Continue to do that. Seek their help. Give them permission to intercede in your life when you need it. And for you, although you got a bunch of mess going on, stay up. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. From the Ascended Masters to the masculine teacher. So he's got these 2 cards about the learning experience. You got one too here with your 8 of Earth. But he's got the Hermit and he's got teacher now. With the teacher that life is, that experience is. They say experience is the best teacher. For you from the Ascended Masters, focus upon your strengths and get what you have to get done, says Apollo. He says you can do it. I hope that you found your personal reading helpful and enjoy it, dear. Namaste, Angel.